can tell that the African spiritual element, because everyone says when you go to Africa, there's always like the spiritual side of it. I feel like some of that is getting to the girls. We my newbies look like Halle Berry. Hi, lover girls. Hi, lover boys. This is Royalty Tea Room, and we're back with another Baddies Africa recap, episode 6, I believe. My face is a little like chipmunky. I got my wisdom teeth were pulled, so I'm a little stiff and a lot of pain, but I'm trying to get this out to y'all because I love y'all and I care about y'all. Y'all my fam, so I gotta take care of my fam. But yeah, jumping into the episode, it starts out with Dolly and Lex versus Fauna and Cole, Killa, and Rican. And they start a food fight, and like food gets on the camera. It's bad. And low key, Rican got good aim because when she threw that plate of yogurt at Dolly, it landed like all over Dolly's face. Dolly says that they're gonna do it every day. How old are you again? That's what I thought. And so Natalie walks up and she's upset with them, like, obviously, you guys just, like, wasted food, and it's always been, like, a rumor that the baddies never get food. So it's like, y'all got food, we watching it on camera, and y'all just threw it out the trash. Not good.
If the girls don't start cleaning up behind themselves, they're gonna have to deal with me, and it's not gonna be pretty. Nobody ever washes the dishes, but everybody wanna cook. It's always on the counters. It's breadcrumbs. It's red juice, pink juice. I'm wiping counters and it's sticky everywhere. At least somebody can do a by a broom.
So then she tells them that she wanted to have brunch, like, with them and drink mimosas and everything, and like before they go to the safari. And then after that, Dolly tries running up again pointlessly. It was so cringe to watch. I was like, Dolly, like, you're BBL. What are you doing? So then she threw something at Kay, and Kay called her, like, Michael Myers, which was low-key funny. She did, because Dolly's, like, edges are, whoo, they're gone. You gotta stop with the lace fronts, baby. You gotta really, like, work on that. So then Nat introduces Choco to everyone, and her name is Choco Brown. She's from Nigeria. Sorry. I love my African baddies. And, the music in the Visionary is just crazy, like, I loved it. I was like, should I feel offended? But it was, like, the proper introduction. It was, like, low-key, give us that African music. I like it, for real. I wasn't offended. I was thinking about it, like, should I be offended? But it was like, nah, it was cool. It was rightfully so, because she's actually African, for real. Not saying that the other ones aren't, but, you know, she's Nigerian. Kay literally cracked me up. She said, you know, Choco walked in like a baddie. I don't know what LCK was given. And I was literally on the floor because Ree can just be saying anything. And she's so funny. She reminds me of that cousin everyone has or everyone doesn't have that is just always saying stuff funny. I live for that. So then they start getting ready to go. And Kay is like ready for Dolly. She puts her robe down. She was like ready. And she was reading her for filth at the same time. But they kind of cut that short. So next thing, Natalie and DTB have a conversation about Anna. Low-key a waste of time. DTB says that this is the last incident, so they are cool for now. ... Clearly, Natalie doesn't run anything, because if she was big boss, then she would fire DTB for having Anna even around. But she can't, because she's not a boss. Well, not the boss. A boss, but not the boss. The faces she was making at Natalie's back was low-key hilarious. I was like, yo, DTB is too much. But it was funny.
I've been nice to you. I've let you make it. On more than one occasion when you got up in my face and you talk your and you try to provoke me. I've been nice. But nice to everybody's house.
So then some girls got on one bus and the other ones are going on another. And Scotty and DTB are wearing, like, matching African official robes and stuff. And those colors were pretty bright. So it's giving Ghana, which were really pretty. Not saying that they're in Ghana, but, like, those colors and stuff, it was, like, Ghanaian colors. Really beautiful. And, Choco showed them the Afrobeat way of doing Baddy shot o'clock. It was like a Betty shots o'clock. It was low-key cool, though. I can't really do it because my stuffed cheeks. I'm sorry. I look so weird. If y'all gonna make fun of me, make sure the jokes are funny, because I love a good read. But it was good, though. Her beat and the way she did her Baddy shot o'clock was good. And her accent is cute. Like, I love Nigerian accents. Like, I grew up watching a lot of like Blood is Money, like a lot of Nigerian movies, and I can understand them so well. And I just love their accents. They flow so beautifully, and they're so funny. And the way that they be saying stuff, they'd be like, "I will beat you," and it's like, believe them. Sometimes they don't mean no harm, but it's just funny. All my Nigerians out there, I love you. Um, so then DTV asks what happened to K Rican, and K Rican explains everything, and she's hilarious while doing it. And then she starts telling them, K Rican starts telling everyone what Dolly said about Ivory and DTV that first day when they were on the bus. And I was waiting for her because it's like, when is someone going to tell Ivory that Dolly was talking all this stuff about her? We need to see Dolly and Ivory yet again, because Dolly thinks she big dog because she fought Tasiki. Notice I didn't say whoop Tasiki, because she would never. And she's just a big bully, a big old bully, a big old ugly bully. Like, the list is just relentless. And low-key, I noticed that Cold Killer was sitting beside DTV. I didn't know if they were cool or not. No? Yes? Okay. So then on the other bus, Russian is whispering to Choco about how production will paint you out if you don't, like, get ready on time. Just stuff that she might know. Like, we couldn't really understand what she was saying. She was whispering it to her, but it could be true, right? We don't know. And Rolly is upset. She's just like, what you whispering for? And saying that Russian is whispering about false information and lies. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, slow down, roly-poly snack meals. Second of all, she was whispering to Choco, had nothing to do with you. You shouldn't have inserted yourself. And I know some people don't like it when other people whisper around them. Okay, fine. But I think Rolly already heard something and just wanted to start a problem. See, me, if she's telling her this stuff, just tell production, be a tattletale, because you're already being a tattletale by, what are you whispering for? Like, I like to whisper too. Like, just don't say nothing, listen to it, whatever, and play your cards right. Be like a Natalie in this situation, because low-key, that, like, if Natalie was listening to this, she wouldn't have done what Rolly did, because that's why Natalie has gone so far. She would have, like, literally played Puppet Master, and I know it's wrong, but sometimes you gotta play chess, not checkers, and Rolly straight up played Uno. She straight up played Uno, and of course it was in her favor because she ended up winning against Russian. However, it's not a good look because now the fans are just like, mind your own business. And it's crazy to think that someone is in trouble for just saying their perspective on things at the end of the day. Like, it was just her perspective. She didn't say, oh, this is the truth and nothing but the truth. Like, it was just her perspective. So, Rolly, calm down. So yeah, Russian, and Rolly's perspective is like, oh, this is Russian's first season, but Russian has friends who's worked with Zeus before. Either way, like, I get both sides to where Rolly is like, you don't know nothing, this is your first season, you shouldn't be lying to this brand new girl, this is her first day, which is true, Russian. Like, if you really wanted to be secretive, wait till y'all get home, away from roly-poly snack meals and anyone else who could stop the conversation and talk to her. Like, remember on BGC, they used to say they would have private conversations in the shower because they couldn't have their phones. So something like that, or like when the cameras are down, have a private conversation. Like, to be fair, you kind of did this on the bus while everyone was at a gas station. Maybe she thought cameras were down and really wasn't listening, but I would have waited till I was at the house and also like see what type of girl Choco is, because that was like what, the first hour. They didn't even change from like the brunch stuff, like their brunch attire. So I think you're giving out too much information the first hour, but at the same time, if she wanted to do that, that's her business, Rolly. So I'm kind of here with it. Low key though, I really don't care. But yeah.
Y'all can keep on with your snide comments, but it might get you punched in the face.
So then, yeah. And Russian is saying, which is another good point, because Rolly's like, well, you're whispering, being secretive, but Russian's saying, well, she's beside me, so I don't need to yell, which is true. Like, I'm one of those people. If you're beside me, it's not going to be like a whisper, but I'm not going to be loud either. So I guess it could come off as a whisper, but there's no reason to be loud. And Russian asks if Rolly likes her, and Rolly says no because she's a D-rider. And I'm just like, okay, this is obviously animosity that's been building up. And we saw that one episode and Rolly was just like, what's your problem? Like, Russian, you gotta check people right then or else people will continue to play with you. So I'm happy that she stood up for herself eventually, but this could have all not happened if you stood up to her that night. Like, I don't got a problem, big back or something like that, you know what I mean? But it progressed, and now subconsciously Rolly thinks that she can talk to you like she's your mother, and she's a mother, but she's not your mother. Just saying. And I'm not a fan of Russian. Don't get me wrong. I ain't team Russian, but I ain't team Rolly either. So then Russian yells, and Rolly says, like, who are you talking to? And then Russian lowered her voice. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, girl, you should have been like, I'm talking to you in your red voice. To you. In your red voice. To you. I'm sorry. I'm always going to live for BDC. So then, yeah, I get both sides, but I just feel like it wasn't that big of a deal. Unless Rolly loves production, which is clear as day she does because she keeps coming back every time. But it's ironic because she, like, just quit. So, interesting. So now the baddies are on the safari now. And it makes me sad because, like, especially Ivory, she said, like, she's never seen something like that before. And you can tell that the African spiritual element, because everyone says when you go to Africa, there's always, like, the spiritual side of it. I feel like some of that is getting to the girls. And it would just make me sad because, you know, Ivory's never even been to a zoo. You know, little things like that we take for granted. And, you know, I know that she was raised probably not in the best environment, but my heart goes out to that because these, even though I do say a lot of stuff about Zeus, they are giving opportunities to people who might never see this. So it is nice that, you know, Ivor kind of showed her sensitive side, saying that she's never been to a zoo. This is a whole big experience, and I'm actually very happy for the girls who might not get these opportunities and get to see these things by the hands of Zeus. So that is a good job on their part. But low-key, I peeped that Rolly and Russian were walking together. I'm telling you, I'm making a list of all the fake beefs that I have theories. So then, did Scotty admit that she's been to Africa? I'm just, you know, fun housewife shade. So then Natalie sees elephants and gets scared, and I was like, I swear, it's crazy when Natalie gets scared, like, of heights and, like, things like that. Because she always gives that she's got it together. But it's moments like these, it kind of makes me smile because, like, I grew up watching her. So to see, like, her fears, I'm just like, yeah, she's a real person. And then Lex gets emotional. Elsie said that the lions would be easier to live with. And I was like, clock it. So now they are going back to the house. They gotta go for the sprinters and everything. And, Rolly says that she will not be riding with the bus she went on because she isn't feeling Russian. And Russian's just like, you know, I'm not scared of you. Now she's ready. And so they fight 3 times, and Rolly won every time, unfortunately. And I was really hoping Russian would get her. I just think, okay, so, like, the first round, Rolly won, and then, like, Russian tried to kick her, and Rolly caught the leg and brought her to the ground and started kicking her on the dirt. I don't know. Ever since Rolly lost some of that weight, she's been a little more agile. So y'all new girls gotta really step it up. This isn't, you know, Rolly Poly snack meals anymore. This is Goldie. What's her real name? Gia Golden or something like that. Yeah, this is her. So now they get back on the buses, and Russian is saying she's going to start practicing hitting walls because hitting her was like a wall. And I totally believe it. You need to practice hitting cinder blocks, concrete, bricks, everything you can that's hard. I mean, just get in there, girly. Sorry. Rolly explains on her bus why, like, how everything happened and everything. And honestly, like, both of their explanations, like I said before, it's valid on both sides of the scale, whichever side you're on. I'm just on the side of I don't really like either of you, and it's not that big of a deal. I think you guys are both wrong, and I think you guys are both right. So Dolly says that she will try to be on her best behavior. Tavi said no snatching mics. Ooh, was that shade, Phaedra? So Scotty tells DTB that she has to share a room with Choco. And Dolly offers to show Choco where her room will be. You cannot trust that girl Dolly. Let me tell you right now. So then when Dolly finds out, she's low-key like, when DTB finds out, she's like, whose room? My room? No. So they get to the house. DTB is moving luggage, and I don't know if it was Choco's, but it was someone's luggage. And Dolly and Choco walk down there together, just like, oh, I'm just walking her to her room. Lies. Like, I would not believe that. And then DTB hits Dolly. And before I go on, DTB kind of explained that Dolly's known for sneaking people, so she was just thinking, I'm going to sneak you before you sneak me. And I get that. They're in the baddie house. It's survival of the fittest. But, I don't know, like, if it's going to be on TV, think. If she sneaks you, people are not going to like that. They're going to like you more. And yes, you'll get beat up because you got snuck, but then you can get your look back or whatever and fight for your honor. And at least you don't really look like an a-hole that some people might perceive you as because you did sneak her. But some people are just like, F the cameras, I'm going to do it anyways. I think that any action should always have calculated and precise, detailed steps before they're made. But that's just me, and that's why I'm a boss. But yeah, and Dolly puts her on the bed easily. Like, it didn't even look like it was that hard. And respectfully, Dolly did lose. And Dolly was like holding her head. It looked like a headlock on the bed. And then like when the security got them off, Dolly scratched DTB's eye. And it's like, girl, are you trying to blind girls? That's too much. It's just a show for 3 weeks. You couldn't possibly have that much hatred in your heart to try to take someone's eye out, could you? I mean, seriously, Dolly, you can't be that evil, could you? Yeah, I didn't think so. And then DTB started stomping her, and I was like, stomp her harder. So then Dolly says she purposely brought Choco to her room, which was like, okay, like low-key, now we understand why DTB snuck her, because she obviously saw it was a setup. So that's where I'm like 50-50 on it, because I probably wouldn't have snuck her, because it really did not look like Dolly was going to hit DTB. It did look like she was just going to, like, walk around. But they don't like each other anyway, so it's kind of like you got to be ready. So I do get that. So then DTB is walking with Ivory, and she sucks Choco. And I laughed, because it's like, this poor girl really just caught a stray. I mean, DTB was mad in that moment. I get it, but I wouldn't have done that. And we see why, because, yeah. Then Dolly rushes DTB after that and gets her again, a few punches. Choco says, you don't need to sneak me like that. And round 1, Choco was getting her, and it made me smile. African queen. Round 2, Choco got her again. And then round 3, she got her again. But I do not like how Ivory was holding Choco's arm. Like, girl, I know it's your friend. Back up, though. Because Choco, it does not look like that Choco looks like she can fight, for one. And Ivory can fight too, but she's new. Be fair. DTB snuck her first, so don't be holding no one's arm. Like, even if I was Ivory and I was DTB's bestie or whatever, she gotta run that. You did sneak her. It's okay. Like, I'm here. No one's gonna jump you, but I'm not gonna hold this girl's arm back so you can have an advantage, because that's whack. It looks bad. So then Tavi comes downstairs and basically mothers them. Choco is saying that she's going to get ready in Tavi's room, and, you know, she's clocking DTB, saying, we will see each other again. And honestly, DTB, I would run for the hills, because when an African says that, believe him. So then they start getting ready, and Lex asks what happened on the bus, and Choco starts telling them, and it's pretty much facts. DTB is talking on the other bus, and like I said, I get both sides, respectfully. So then Dolly is talking about trying to rip DTB's eye out, and I was just like, really? Disgusting, distasteful, delusional, all of those names. And I just realized that the new 3 are on the same bus as the whack 2. Interesting. And I say whack 2 because Summer Nana has been fired. I meant, tap out. But I'm praying that she gets fired. LCK in the wig is sending me, by the way. So then they walk into the club and perform Pose For Me and all these other songs. Rolly Messy Self calls out Cold Killa, and Cold Killa's same song with DTB. And when they give the mic to Cold Killa, they start playing DTB and Tinka song. And I just think that they were playing in her face, and she didn't really like that, so I get it. Carrie Rican is too funny, but she does look fun.
Well, unlike your little pack, I don't need anyone to have a ball. I can do it all on my own. I'm going to be the center of attention regardless, and I'm going to have fun.
Choco says she feels blessed to be there, and blah, blah, blah. Next day, it's Elsie versus Tavi, and Tavi's new confessional look is just, it's really hideous. I'm so sorry, but, like, this girl cannot get a break from my wrath. Oh, my God. I do not like it. So then Elsie is still mad about, like, Cold Killa. And I'm just like, girl, what the heck is wrong with you? Let it go. I mean, I admire the loyalty. I really do. I really, really, really do. However, drop it. This girl is built like one of those people who was around when, like, Biggie and Lil' Kim and Tupac and Snoop. Like, she one of them. So leave it alone. She hard, that strong face. Just drop it, girl. Drop it. Tavi's yelling loud at her, and Elsie is yelling back, and Elsie sounds psycho a little bit. And apparently Scotty was watching the whole time and stopped Tavi from beating Elsie, which was so sweet. And I love Scotty's new confessional look. Okay, period. My girl eats again. I love Scotty. I love her. And I think Scotty jumped in because it hit close to home. When I say that, I mean obviously two friends going back and forth, and one friend feels the need to put the hands on the other friend, which sounds like Baddies West. So I think Scotty just got some deja vu. Respectfully, fun shade. And I just think Elsie is delusional about the whole situation because you just met her, you don't know her. This girl is really let her do her. She's gonna look stupid regardless. Leave it alone. It's not that serious, but I get it. When you have a lot of loyalty towards people, it does hurt your feelings when it's not reciprocated, but that's just a lesson she gonna learn one way or another, right? So then, yeah, LCK look is low-key cute in the confessional. Finally, we get rid of that wig. And it wasn't messed up that she punched you. Y'all just met each other, and you were in her face. She was saying in her confessional, oh, I can't believe she punched me, but, you're in her face, and she doesn't know you. So, of course, she's going to punch you. And I hate that Elsie called herself the wink of sleep. She's just yelling and says anything. And then Elsie says, get out of my face to Scotty. And Scotty's just okay, deuces, because you ain't finna have me feeling like I gots to be here when I don't. So, period. And Tavi then is hyped with Cold Killer. She goes downstairs and she's yelling, word to my mother, son, Brooklyn Avenue, Harlem Nights, all that ish, in New York this and New York that. And I really don't know where this, I know where all the hypeness comes from, but now you're in a different setting. And it's time to be mellow. It's time to be mellow. And I think Cold Killer just can't hold her mouth no matter what, especially when someone wrongs her, which I know people like that. So all you can do is respect it. At least you know that they're not phony, because they're going to tell you to your face.
I don't know how to shut up. I don't know how to stop fighting. I don't know how to be conservative.
But yeah, and then you can tell Tavi's lit, and then Cole's standing on 10, saying I didn't dab you up out of, us trying to be friends. You just beat me up the other day, so it was just to be respectful because we're having, we're at our job. And Tavi's just yeah, you're trying to piss me off, son. I didn't say he was on my ass. I just said you, and then they just start going at it, and it was literally as simple as that. I just think it was a too hype of a person, and then with someone who can't hold back, especially when they feel like it's false. So that is just oil and water. Ain't never gonna work. Next time, Tavi versus Elsa. Natalie takes some wine tasting. Dolly versus DTV. Cold Killer versus Tavi. Choco versus Kay. So many fights. My back hurts. Kay versus Russian, and then Kay versus Rican. Hold up. No, I'm sorry. Kay versus Choco. Now it's physical. Did I say that already? Maybe I did. Anyways, so yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Notifications on, all that. I hope y'all could understand me well because of my chubby cheeks, but I'm so sorry. I'll be better next week, I promise. I'll be healed up. But I love you guys. Bye.
My new bitch look like